Good evening and welcome to Chamber Chat. I'm Melissa Vance from the Wayne County Area Chamber of Commerce and so glad you are tuning in. Tonight we have with us Ed De La Paz. We're going to be making a special announcement, and then we'll have Kim Poinsett from First Bank Richmond and our ACES committee joining me, as well as Laura Lee Heights from Stratavize Consulting. We look forward to having you with us. Welcome back. And as I said, I have Ed De La Paz with me. He is our first guest tonight. Hello, Ed.
Well, thank you for having me on the show.
Ed is the Director of Marketing for the Chamber, and we're always glad to have him join us and talk about things that are upcoming. Before we get too deep into our special announcement, I do want to let you know, our listeners, that we partner during election season with WCTV, and we will be hosting the In Focus Live candidate forums in conjunction with them. And so running from August 23rd all the way up through election night, we'll be joining them and being co-host. We're looking forward to being with them. You will be able to see the lineup by going to our Facebook page or going to the WCTV sites, and we're always glad to be with them. That will air on, Ed, help me, WGTV.
Channel 11.
Channel 11. So we hope that you'll join in, make yourself a very educated voter, and get out to the polls and vote in our very capable candidates into our elected seats. It's important that you get out to vote, and it's important that you educate yourself leading up to that. So now on to the fun stuff. We have a very special announcement.
Yeah, quick question. Have you ever heard of Google?
Google. Remind me.
So what you can do is you can go to google.com and you can Google what Google is.
Really?
Or what you can do is the Chamber is going to be bringing Google to Richmond to talk about getting your business online, so that when you Google your business, it will appear in the search categories and it will appear on the maps.
Right.
So that's pretty exciting news.
That's pretty exciting. I don't think very many communities can say, hey, by the way, we've got Google coming, but we do. And I'm so pleased to say we're partnering with Ivy Tech for this. We'll be using Stidham Auditorium, and we have limited seating of 160 people. And while that sounds like a lot, trust me, when Google's coming to town, we think the house is going to be packed. Encouraging people to get online to our website, find a link, and register early.
So going into a little more details about the event itself. So it's Reach Customers Online by Google trainer Aaron Benes. And it's going to be on September 24th. It's on a Monday. Now, usually we have our business education lunches on a Thursday, but because this is a special event, and it's going to be more than an hour. So we're looking at going from 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. There's going to be a boxed lunch provided. And what Google is actually going to do is they're going to do 2 separate sessions. The first session is going to be on Reach Customers Online with Google. And this is to learn about how do you find your business online, how do you promote your online presence and use in SEO. So it's going to be more of a technical, this is how Google works, this is how you promote your business. Afterward, we're going to go into a unique session, which is known as Succeeding in a Micro Moment World. And what this does is that it talks about how do you capture those moments and then share that on social media and through all the different outlets you have. So
Right.
there's going to be a marketing aspect and there's going to be a technical aspect. But first of all, Google has provided us with a nice video. If you're thinking, okay, well, I'm not on Google, so I'm not going to have any advantage to go into this series, well, we got a solution for you. So if you go to the Chamber website, which is wcareachamber.org/Google, it will take you to a Google video that you can play. It's like only about 20, 30 minutes or something like that. And it will take you through all the steps so that you can get your business registered on Google so that you can come to this free event on the 24th of September
Right.
and participate with us and the community as a whole.
Right. This is, that video is very introductory. It's not something that you're going to be overwhelmed with by watching. It's going to take you through some very easy steps to claim your spot on Google Maps, and so that you will actually appear in that search engine. And then the workshops beyond that will take you to the next steps.
Yes.
And I think one key is workshop. This is not something that people are going to come to and they're going to listen, take notes, and then go back to the office and hopefully apply a few things. Although they can, the better way is show up with your laptop and let's let them walk us through each step of actually seeing our own site and managing our own site, so that when people come to Wayne County, and this is really the key from the Chamber's perspective as a whole, people come to Wayne County, they pull up Google. We want them to see all the amazing places there are to eat, all the places that there are to go shop, all the places there are for entertainment. We want them to see how amazing our community is and all the special things that we have to offer here, so that they'll want to stay, right?
Oh, definitely. I mean, like a couple weeks ago, I went to Indianapolis and I was like, you know what? I don't know this area. Let me pull up Google Maps and see. So I was like, you know what? This is a really nice tool because it highlights everything. So yeah, that's
Right.
one thing we want to see from the chambers. We'd love to see every single chamber member on Google Maps so that when someone comes to town,
Right.
they will know exactly where to go, who to visit, and what to do.
Once you claim that, then you can just build from there. And I think the special thing beyond this day in September when we have Google in town is that Wayne County Area Chamber is now an official Google partner, which means that this is just going to launch a series that we are going to teach quarterly from here on out until we feel like there's no longer a need. So we will be repeating some of these sessions into 2019 and beyond, but there are other sessions too. So we'll just be building on this. So excited to have this opportunity.
Yes, definitely.
And of course, always thankful for the Innovation Center, who's our partner for the business education luncheons. And though they are not our host location this time because of size, they are a great partner.
Right, and along with First Merchants Bank,
Exactly.
who makes the event possible.
Exactly. So, well, anything else you want to share with us, Ed, before we move to our next segment?
Just remember, Monday, September 24th, please come out and join us. Register online. You can actually go to wcacc.eventbrite.com or google.eventbrite.com, and it'll take you right to the event to register.
Excellent. Thanks for being with me, Ed.
All right, thank you.
We'll be right back with Kim Poinsett talking all about upcoming chamber events. Welcome back to the show, and I'm so excited to have my friend Kim Poinsett with me from First Bank Richmond. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you. Very happy to be here.
Kim, you have been involved with our awards, celebrations, and events committee for quite some time.
I have.
And so it's always fun to have you on the show talking about the great things that that committee is doing. And even though this committee is, and I even say it, we talk about it as being the party group and that it's all fun, there's a lot of work that goes behind the
Yes.
ultimate fun, right?
Yes, a lot of setting up tables and chairs and moving things around. Yeah, it's a great group of volunteers to work with.
It really is. It is a fun group, but there's a lot of planning and implementation and then just hands-on help nearing our events.
Yes.
So thank you for all of the time that you and your colleagues dedicate to the Chamber of making these things come to
thank you.
fruition. We
You're
appreciate
very
you.
welcome. You're very welcome. We love Chamber events, so.
Well, one thing that's coming up that I really wanted to spend some time talking about today is the Community Improvement Awards.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about how that started, because I know you were part of the growth of
the
event.
original, yes. When we think it was about 2003, so we think this is about our 15th year, and that was actually another committee that was the Community Improvement Committee that came up with that, and we worked a lot on the beautification of the city. And someone said, you know, there's so much growth and so many people doing good things to the outside of their buildings and making major improvements. It would really be nice to highlight them in some way. And so we came up with the idea of having a luncheon and pulling all the things for that last year, all those people together, and highlighting the progress that had come about. And so now we've had 15 years of, you know, being dedicated to the outside of the buildings, because we don't really involve the interior. We're looking at exterior that make the whole quality of the city more beautiful. And it's, you know, we were talking earlier, I lose track now. Every year I couldn't tell you, we've highlighted everything new that has happened within the city. So
it's amazing.
It is.
And so the businesses that we highlight, they don't have to be chamber members. We really try and look countywide at all of the businesses that have done something, whether it's a renovation to the exterior of their property or a high-end landscaping project, or a lot of times it's new construction.
Correct.
So there's a nice blend usually of all of those things
that
come to light. But it amazes me every year how many projects there really are and have taken place in that amount of time.
It is. And you know, you look back and think, oh, I'm not sure if we're going to have much this year. And then we get those permits and you start looking and you think, oh yeah, I forgot that they did that to this building and that's new. And yeah, it's amazing.
So last year, our winners for the Exemplary Award was Levi and Catherine Coffin House in Fountain City. And what a beautiful new building they have up there.
Yes.
In fact, this month the Chamber is doing an event up there, so that'll be fun. And then we had the Jack Elstra Plaza, got the Quality of Life Award.
Which has made so much impact to community events in our city and for the whole county.
Already been utilized over and over and over again. It's fun having that a block away from our office, I will say that.
With the Saturday morning markets and the Tuesday night markets and then the food trucks on Wednesday. I see people down there picnicking all throughout the week and bringing their kids.
Playing in the fountains.
Yes.
To me, that's when I drive by and the kids are laughing and playing in the fountains. That just makes me smile. It's a great day.
Me too.
And then we did a special award last year for the Wetzels because they have over and over and over again invested in the east corridor of National Road and renovating their buildings one at a time. But we gave them the Crossroads of America Award last year and just really highlighted the fact that they have invested so greatly in beautifying that side of town. It's been amazing.
Most definitely. And, you know, when you see all the properties that they own throughout the east side, and now all the renovations and beautifications that they've made, they've done a great job to really help that area.
And we always do a Spirit Award to a group that just kind of raises the morale of the community. And last year we highlighted Richmond Shakespeare Festival. We have done the In Concert series, various ones throughout the year. And so it'll be fun to kind of make the announcement later of who is going to win each one of these awards. This event is coming up on September 13th, and it's a luncheon at the Leland. You can get your tickets online at wcareachamber.org. And then we have 3 minutes to talk about our October event. Tell us what that is.
Well, this will be the second year. We're going to have the Taste of Wayne County and the Business Expo out at the fairgrounds. Last year it was a great success. I think more than we even anticipated. We had lots of people coming out and lots of businesses there, so it's going to be a great time. Again, this year, I'm excited to see all the different food vendors that show up and all of the businesses.
We've done the Taste of Wayne County for a long time, highlighted nonprofits along with that, and people come out for $10. My goodness, you can get a really nice meal by piecing together some of the best dishes from around the county. And but then adding the expo, it just added a little extra fun to the night.
Yes.
We have some more things that I think will be fun for people and we'll announce later, or they might just show up and be surprised. But that'll be a great day. And that event is October 11th.
Yes.
And we do that in the evening. It's a weeknight. People can just come on out there, pick up their families, and it's a family-friendly event.
It is, and have a great dinner. Get to sample some of the best restaurants that we have in town. I know everybody's always anxious to see what Gallo's going to serve. So,
and the radio stations are out there. Rick Duncan with G101.3. He's our host for the night, and so that's just a fun night.
Yes,
we're excited to have them. And anything else we want to say about that before we close for the day?
It's a great time. We need lots of businesses out there, so
yes, and
great way to advertise your business.
Absolutely, and so that does lead me to, if you would like to be a part of the Taste of Wayne County or the Business Expo, whether you're a restaurant, you want to highlight some of your food and specialties, or if you're a business and you want to just have an audience with about 500 people who will be out there that evening, go onto our website, WCAreachamber.org, and you can get signed up. You'll find all the information, or of course you can call our office anytime. Ask for Roxy. We look forward to seeing you then, and thanks for being with us, Kim.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Welcome back to the show, and I am so pleased to have with me our next guest from Stratavize Consulting, Laura Lee Heights. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming and spending some time with us today. Why don't you just start off and tell us a little bit about you and your business?
Sure. So I have Stratavize Consulting. We really focus on that small to mid-sized businesses. I spent many, many years in corporate America. I say I often survived corporate America, spending almost 20 years in total. And I spent a lot of time in project management and strategy and leadership development and some compliance projects in there, and spent some time at a large consulting firm and worked at a really big software company out in Seattle. And I brought all the experience I had over almost 20 years and started Stratavize Consulting Services, where we focus on leadership, teamwork, and strategy.
And we were talking a little bit before we started about how all of those kind of flow and tie together, and how, leadership leads to strong teams.
Yep. You got it exactly right. So without one, you really can't have the other, right? So a lot of the organizations that we work with, we really look at the leadership level first. So are there strong leaders in place? Because strong leaders can build strong teams, and strong teams can ultimately execute against a strategy. What we find is that a lot of times organizations will say, I want to start marketing, and they really don't have who do they serve? They really don't have their products and services. They don't understand the voice of their customer. They don't understand the strategy piece of it or their business direction.
Right.
And the other piece is, okay, I've got my strategy, but we're not able to execute. That's probably the second biggest thing I hear is we've got a strategy. We keep meeting for retreats, which people hate retreats.
Yes.
I will tell you, no one wants to sign up for a retreat. So they will, attend a retreat and they think that's where the work happens. And the work really happens afterwards. And it happens through teams. So if we have strong leaders, they can build strong teams, and those teams learn how to work better together, and ultimately they can execute a good, strong strategy. But without one, the other two typically fail. So our focus primarily is around how do we build those leaders, how do we create effective teams, and then ultimately how do we create a strategy that we can execute against. Does that make sense?
It does. And I will be the first to kind of vouch for your skill set because I have had an opportunity to work with you through some of our mutual board
All of our volunteer work.
commitments, our volunteer work on the side, and just being in the room with you has been enlightening at times because you seem to know how to ask the right questions, and no doubt that comes from your experience and your years of learning yourself. I find that learning is lifelong, and
most definitely.
we don't get to where we are today by not having experienced some of those things, and that's evident through.
I think the questions are important. I think that's for every leader, right? So if you start to ask questions and look at, are we trying to solve the right problem? So when you start asking questions and getting them to look at things differently, you begin to recognize, you know what, maybe we're not trying to solve the right problem. So I do tend to ask a lot of questions, and it comes from me wanting to look for clarification. It comes from helping people gain agreement. So the more questions you begin to ask, people begin to see clarity, and they gain agreement on this topic or the direction we want to go or whatever it is. So I really encourage all leaders and every teams, individuals, ask questions. Ask them not in a way to, not like you're trying to dig at something, but just more, help me understand. How do you envision this working out? Or help me understand, how do you see this? Take me 3 steps out.
Right.
That really gets a group to begin to really think beyond just the conversation we're having now, but going 3, 4, 5 steps out. And that's where strategic thinking begins to happen, when you're thinking future thinking. Does that make sense?
It takes you from an idea or a concept through the actual potential execution and is it realistic or is it not?
You got it.
And
you got it, exactly.
And that's important. When you're sitting around the table and you're having conversations, you can have amazing ideas. I like to think I have some of the most amazing ideas. Isn't that what Blair used to say on Facts of Life? I had another one of my most marvelous ideas. But if it's not...
I watched that show as a kid. Thank you for taking me back for a moment while we're on TV. I immediately started to think of that when I was a teenager. Sorry.
I love it. But those ideas, if we can't actually execute them, then they're just an idea.
Yep.
And so I love the fact that you're able to get there, and sometimes just recognizing that is the key.
I agree. You look at, I love how you said, how do we get from idea to execution? And part of that is helping people think about, well, what would the next step be? So I think that's a great idea, Melissa. Take me through the next 3 steps if we wanted to make that happen. And immediately, what are the things that come up? Do we have the right resources?
Right.
Do we have the right capital to do that? Do we have the right technology? Do we have all of these things start to bubble up when you start asking people to go, play that out for me.
Right.
How do you see that coming to light? And those types of questions get them, again, really in strategic thinking mode, where they get to assess, are we solving the right problems? Is this really the right solution? Can I really make it happen? And I think when you begin to do that, you narrow the scope, which makes it so much easier to execute. When you have 50 ideas, you might be able to do some of them. Most of them are going to be done poorly. If you have 3 ideas, you can execute with precision, and you can expect high performance because I'm only focused on 3 things versus trying to boil the ocean and do 50 things. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the things that I will say, when we worked with you just recently from a chamber board planning session.
Not a retreat.
Not a retreat, just a planning session.
That's right.
One of the things that I appreciated was the fact that you helped me know what information to gather ahead of time so that we had data that we could then put up on a board for visualization to be able to refer to during that decision-making process and say, are we really serving our customers? And for us, it was, who are our customers? You know, what types of businesses? What size of businesses? And making sure that when we're looking at our activities, then looking back to that board and saying, okay, which one of our customers are we serving with this activity? Are there any gaps? And that was just, I think, one of the most I'm losing the word, Laura Lee. Impactful, yes.
Yeah, just being able. So, when you think back on the session, is it really the visualization that really brought the data forward? Because we get a lot of data, right? And it's not that the board members hadn't seen the data before, but it's buried in all this other data that we don't need. So when you think about the process that we went through, we really looked at all of what we call an internal scan and an external scan, or an environmental scan. We really looked inside the organization, outside the organization, and said, what is this information that we need to be able to make good, educated decisions? And based on that, we brought the good data forward, and that is what, when you say visual, everybody walked in and saw this huge 4x8 board and got to see all the big, most important data, and immediately we started the conversation with, let's take a look at this. And I think that's really what drove the rest of the conversation.
We very much appreciated our time with you.
Good.
And I think that it's going to help us as we move into making decisions throughout the next 12 to 18 months as a board, as an organization. And hopefully there are lots of other organizations, businesses, large and small, in our community, in our service area, that are listening today, that are saying that's definitely an activity we need to do. And so if that's the case and they're listening today, tell us how we can direct them to reach you.
Oh, that's a great question. So they can connect with me on LinkedIn, Laura Lee Heights. I'm easy to find on LinkedIn. They can go out to stratavizeconsulting.com. They can find me at the Innovation Center. I hang my hat there. If you stop in at the Innovation Center, someone will be able to get a hold of me. So those are probably the three quickest and easiest ways to reach me. And I have a small team. We'll gladly meet with them and talk to them about their business.
Okay. Well, thank you for being with me. Of course, if you want to know more about any of our chamber members, visit wcareachamber.org, and you can find our list there. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you being with us, and we'll see you next time.